Alright guys, we're back. We're back. Today we're changing bearings. Lots of bearings. We're going to do all the bearings today if possible. Last time we confirmed that we got spark and that it would run on the bottle. So that's all good news. As you can see over here, I got a bearing popped off already. Retainer cap. Let's screw this around a little bit. There we go. And over here, same deal. Retainer cap. I've already popped those nuts off in preparation. That's just a little carrier, as you can see. Our retainer, bearing retainer. Now, you think that bearing's going to come off without some fighting? So here's the nice thing. I got one of these things. Let's get you guys back out. So you guys have maybe seen one of these. They're pretty handy, actually. And not just for their intended purpose, and that is to pull off a battery terminal. What I use these guys for is for pulling off small bearings. Hook one around each side, if you got the room, obviously. If you don't, maybe you're going to have to fight with it a bit. Hopefully you don't have to fight too much with it. Get on there. There we go. We got a little bit of it. Hopefully it doesn't take too much. I'll have to give it a whack with a hammer, huh? Oh, wait a second. My mistake. There is a... Before that's going to come off, I'd be fighting with that for a long time. There is a key. C-clip. Okay. Can you guys see that little C-clip there? Maybe you can, huh? Yeah, there it is. Notoriously tough to pull off if you don't have the right size C-clip puller, which I may not. I had a little one. There it is. A little one here somewhere. And usually they fling off and take off across the shop, and you have to go to your local Princess Auto or whatever store, and or is that Harbor Freight in the States, I guess, and get them off, or get a new one, get a little kit. Come on, you, come on. Oh, it doesn't want to work with me. So let's cheat this a little bit. See if I got a pair of needle nose, and we'll just grab it with a screwdriver. See if we can pop that off. Oh boy. Never be easy, can it? I may find this is not going to be an easy way to get at it. I think still the best way is going to be with the right C-clip pliers. Come on, you. Oh, we got it. Just enough. And I do actually have more C-clips. There we go. Hey, that was easy. Back you out. Easy enough. And how's that bearing? Actually, that bearing's good. Nah, bit of playing it. You can hear it's rough too. You know, a snowblower is subject to a lot of harsh conditions. Probably a lot of no lube and a lot of cold temps and etc. etc. Anyway, that's that, guys. Let's clean that shaft up. See if we can't. Let's see, how's that shaft in there? Well, basically what happens, I can see, is that the cup, the bearing retainer, is also what centers that shaft in that larger hole. So let me get this cleaned up on the wire wheel, and let's get a new bearing stuck on there. We'll clean the shaft up with some, you don't need much. A wee bit of emery probably. Very light emery. And just a quick wipe, just so that new bearing slides back on there. Can you guys hear me all right? I've been messing around with the audio forever. Trying to get just the right setup on my mic. And because the problem is inside my shop here, I've always got a heater running. Obviously in the winter I do. Don't want to take too much of that off there. Just to get the burrs off. Of course, I'm kind of rushing, so I don't use up a bunch of my battery life while you guys are watching there. Okay, that should be good. Actually, we can use this clean one. How's that sound? Let's get another bearing. Pretty common bearings. Let's see, I got one in a package here. Brand new, $1.50 a piece, roughly. Oh, yeah, nice fit. That C-clip, hopefully I didn't bend that. You guys didn't have any part of it. Don't worry about it. I want to include you in on it. Let's get you back down there. See that ring groove? Now, a tricky moment where I take this C-clip and get that spreader in there. Oh boy. I might be lucky. You're just starting it out here. Just like this. One side, the other side if I'm lucky. Just about. There we go. Nothing to it, says he. Okay. Oh yeah, see, square shouldered bolts. They sit in that square groove. And that's going to be tricky, isn't it? I cleaned up one here. That's going to go. Oh, that is going to be a little bit tight, isn't it? We have to tap that on there. Yeah, to tap it on ever so lightly with a coaxer. Mind your ears. Let's start it on straight first of all. Start it straight. Try to anyway. That's pretty close. Not all the way here yet, but it's getting there. Let's put some nuts back on. Oops. That's not the right nuts. That's the right nuts. That's the wrong one. Yeah, I do. This one. See if we can get those close. You guys looking at nothing, aren't you? There you go. I had you guys staring right at my hand there, I think. Oh, you get that bearing retainer on, get that bolt squared up. It's got a square shoulder. Get that snugged down. And that is it. I'm just holding the shaft and pushing against the shaft as I tap it, and that'll help move it in. Don't hit the shaft, obviously. Flushes up that outside that bearing with that retainer. And that is snugged up with a 1/4 inch ratchet. And that is the first bearing. Only, what, 10 more to go? Piece of cake. All right. Opposite side. This one's being a little bit more stubborn. So luckily last time the bearing fell right off the shaft. This time we just use this little puller and just walk it right off. Like I say, super handy. Actually meant for battery terminals. But in this case, small little use. Yep. You guys, here, hold you right to the mic. Hear that? Probably not. Anyway, yeah. So, a bit noisy, that guy. Clean that shaft. That C-clip back on. The other side done. Sometimes you get a fussy bearing. Maybe the shaft actually might have a little burr on it. You're gonna tell me who hasn't used a socket. Just fit it around the inner race of that bearing. Tap it on. Just that easy. Alright guys, true story. Got ahead of myself. Wow, how hard is that to believe, huh? See all that system down in there? I gotta take a sip from my drink. Well, this is the complex and intricate system that encompasses the drive, the wheel drive. So see how that shaft turns there? Wow, it starts way over here. That chain down to here, over to here, into here, across to here, up to here, across to here, bearing, and over the drive wheels. So what did I say? 1, 2, how many bearings I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I count 8. There could be more, but there's 8. Okay, so here's the issue. How am I going to get that bearing out? You're thinking, oh yeah, hey man, just pull that shaft, right? Just pull that shaft out. Change the bearing, put the shaft back in. If only it was that easy. So, here's the problem. The problem herein lies. Not a huge problem, just something to overcome, that's all. Let's go underneath, give you a peek. Can you see in there? Not very well. Okay. Well, there's a sprocket. And you think, well, that's no big deal. There's a grub screw on that sprocket. Just pop that grub screw off, slide that sprocket off, slide that shaft out, and someone's your uncle. But that, of course, they didn't use a grub screw. They used a roll pin. So I got to flip this guy up. Get this guy flipped up on its front, which is what they're meant to be. They're just gonna flip them right over. Knock that grub screw out, and then see if we can pull that shaft out, huh? How's that for zoomed in? So originally, I just pulled this little idler with a chain tensioner out, and that would go, you guys can see that. That goes there, that goes, sorry, underside there, chain tensioner is under that, which we can turn that later. We still got lots of usable life out of that. But I just took it out just to ease, give me some room to work, huh? And, you know, of course, I wasn't completely sure if that was a grub screw. It'd be an awful small grub screw, way smaller than it should be anyway. But no, it is a roll pin. And, whoops, let's move that flashlight back in. And if I look at it, you can actually see the split. Drop that on my head. You can actually see the split in the, hold on guys, hold on, hands in the way. You can see the split in the roll pin there, and you can see on the back side where it exits. So, you gotta get a pin punch and knock that out. All right, we've got the hammer for the job. It's a little guy. Let's back you out a bit. Give me a little bit of room. Come on, quit crowding me. So, I mean, somebody might say to me, why do that? Why not just take it all apart on this side? Where is it? Can't see it. It's over there. Take it apart on that side and slide it through to the right. Well, that'd be fine. I could do that. It might even be easier, but the problem is, I've got no clearance. Can't go that way. So I'm kind of stuck, huh? Stuck doing it this way. I'm going to try to give you light at the same time, right? Okay. See if I got that lined up. I think I do. Maybe a little bit lower. That one might, no, that might be the one. Feels like the one. Is it coming? Is it? Could be. Can you hold that wheel for me? What's wrong with you guys? Or is my head in your way? I'm also doing it with the wrong hand. Excuses, huh? Why don't I get you off? Turn you guys off for a second. Finish punching that out. Turn you back on. All right. You want to be here for the coup de grace, don't you? Back at it again. Just like the days I played tennis. Not very well. I'm forever wrestling with this flashlight. All right. Come on. Finish the job, man. Zoom you out. Finish the job. Pull the pin. Throw the grenade. Ah. We got it. Got the bad tooth. I don't know if I mentioned, but make sure you always got a bowl. Throw your parts in so you don't lose them on the shop floor. All right, next. That guy's going to come off there, or will it? Well, it's supposed to. It might need a little persuasion, but I think we can do it. All right, bit of a wrestling match. So this guy, it's your shift engager. You're not your shift engager. It's your engagement for your drive. And this guy, this arm here, see that? These are grass, which is interesting. That basically just, via this linkage, moves this guy back and forth and either engages it into this, I guess it's a pawl, I guess you would call it. There's a stop there. Why is there a stop? Yet another C-clip we have to pull out. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull that C-clip and don't have to take it right off. I'm going to take this key off, slide this all this way, slide that C-clip that way, and move the shaft that way, and that should disengage it, or pull it out of that bearing, and we can change that bearing, finally. Alright, let's give that a try, huh? Got it figured? Got it memorized? Good. There'll be a test later. Alright. I got that little C-clip. Got the key pulled off. C-clip removed from that groove. Pair of pliers. Use any. And just slide that C-clip down. Slide it. Like I'm telling you how to do this in the future, should you have to do it again on the 1959 snowblower, huh? No, probably won't have to. But, you know, I guess really the trick to knowing what tool to use or using tools is to know all the different things that you can do with them. Because there's not always just one thing you can do with a set of tools. I mean, for instance, you don't just take this and clamp it and turn it. I mean, you can use it to slide or, you know, whatever. Like I just did. Just slide that C-clip. Okay, so I think that's going to give me enough room. So, let's try it. Anything going to fall? I don't think so. We gotta try to move that shaft. Well, let's use a pair of pliers, because it doesn't move over here. Luckily, no more C-clips over here, right? Come on, baby. You're almost there. Ah, success. We did it. Got it. Good. Just the right amount of room, too, huh? Okay, so I'm going to pull this. I'm going to shut you guys down. and pull that keeper off, change that bearing, and slide it all back in. And when you see us next, see me next, it'll all be back together in 10 hours time. Right, all back together. See that? I don't think there's any leftover parts. Let's see what we got. Hold on, I got this bin. Wait a sec, where did this one come from? Guess I'll find out later. Where'd that washer come from? Oh, I know. Oh, actually, you know what? Gotta put that tensioner back in. Anyway, I'll get to that. Keep it in the dish and you won't forget it for later. Let's get these guys out. Get the wheels off. It's at a half. Where's that at? 9/16. Half. Usually I'm wrong. Oops. Sorry. Mind your ears. Try it the other way. There we go. Try it the other way. Different wrenches can be used. And you got to be coordinated for this outfit, this operation. Funny if I had one tightening and one loosening, huh? Be here all day. Okay. And a nut and washer. A wheel with a hub. Do you think it will come off? Oh, it will come off. Aren't we lucky? Lucky. So, I guess it goes just, oh, there's a spacer on there too. Spacer on that one? Yep. Cracked? Spacer's cracked, but it's not going to make any difference. Pop that off. Alright, so you know the routine. Pull the bearing off, change the bearing, come on the other side. Pull that bearing, change that bearing, and then it's just going to be bearing day today. That's what we're going to do. Motor and carburetor, and probably the clutch will be another day. But we got this one yet, so I haven't yet put that bearing on because guess what? There's another bearing hidden inside there, just like this one. Will we be lucky? I don't know. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to get these taken off. See, these guys taken off, and set these down for a second. Get these taken off, change these bearings. You know how it goes, I've showed you already. And get you back on the stand for this other, whatever we're going to do over here. See you in a bit. Always a little surprise in every bite, huh? Yeah, let's move you aside here. So to get this, I didn't have you on, but to get this one off, you'll see that. To get this one off, this shaft had to go the other way. To go the other way, well, this gear had to come loose off the shaft, and hey, no problem, man, no problem. So there's also another key in here. Key locks the gear, and then there's also a set on it right here. So let's just tidy this up, clean this shaft up before we push it through. Yes, I'm not going to mushroom that shaft, don't worry. If I did, I could fix it with a file. Here, let's, yeah, that's okay. Let's spin a little bit. Clean that shaft. You know what that reminds me of? That scene where Jesus is cleaning his bowling ball in the Big Lebowski. You guys remember that scene? God. Most erotic scene of the 90s. That's a great movie. You've seen that movie, what? Oh, I don't know. 15? 20? Nah, not 20. 10 to 15 times. Good enough. All right, let's get that all back together again. All right. Rocky Mountain High. I didn't want to turn the camera on because I was listening to some John Denver. Yeah, that's lame, isn't it? I'm sorry. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. That'd be nice. Usually this time of the year I'm skiing already, out in the mountains. But not this year. We is locked down. Look at it. I'll pull this guard off. Now we've got the back end all squared up and pulleys all lined up, which is no big deal. Piece of cake, man. Pop these, couple spacers in there, but look at it. They go between the guard. Remind me of that, okay? I'm gonna put these back together. Spaces go between the guard and the chassis. Off there. Into the dish it goes. Comes off. Look at that. Conveniently, they made a little cutout there for me. Aha. That might be a little bit loose. There must be a master on there somewhere. There it is. But I don't think it's enough for... No, that's not enough for holding. So when the motor's running, it's going this way, which means it's powering and pulling this tight. It shouldn't rattle. Should be all right. Okay, so what do we got to do? This is what we got to do. We got to pull both those... What am I doing here? What am I doing? We got to pull both those keepers off there. See that? Both those guys got to come. The microphone is still close by. We pull both these guys. They're both on keyways. Pull that shaft through. Actually, we just have to. To me, you know, I could take that master link off there and just take the chain off, but I'm gonna bet you it's gonna be easier just to pull the shaft sideways a little bit. Loosen this one probably. Probably. Take this guy off. Appropriate size. Socket! Oh god! And should I I'm gonna take that lock nut off first? Make my life easier, huh? Rocky Mountain. Oh, that's great. I've got John Denver stuck in my freaking head now. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. That guy was an amazing pilot, actually. That's how he died, I guess, was airplane crash. Did we get lucky? Is that just going to pop off there? No. In your way? Well, we should maybe give that shaft a tap. A little tappy tap. It might just slide out for us, if we're lucky. You know what? I gotta take this other one off. I don't know what the heck I'm thinking, but I gotta take them both off. Wrench. Take out wrenched ankle. What the heck was that game? You guys remember that game? Take out wrenched ankle. What the heck was that? It was Operation, wasn't it? They still selling that game after all these years? Everything's spinning. Alright. That's good enough on that. Shaft is a bit. There we go. Got to move it. So it moved. The inside one didn't move yet. We got two. Well, what do we gotta do? We get that guy loose. Oh, there we go. We got this can of stuff for. That was for spraying on things. Okay, we can drive that through, I think. Tap that guy over. We're almost there. Okay. You're so close. This one is a lot looser. Yeah, we're just going to grab a set of pliers here. See if we can move it along. Alright, that is free. Sort of kind of free. Get lucky, a chain rolled out there. There we go. And it's not bad. I could slide that over. There we go. Good. We're out. We're out. So we're just going to change that bearing, slide it all the way back in, and you guys try not to sing Rocky Mountain High while I'm doing that. See you in a bit. Alright guys, before I go on, how about I get the chain off the clutch, and before I stick it back on there, how about we pull that clutch off and you guys have a look in there? Because I'm sure you're all dying to know what is inside. There's a 1/2 inch. What's inside there? The way the motor turns, let's see, it's going to be not a reverse thread. Turns this way, so it's going to loosen off that way because I'm going to... Yeah. Okay. I got you. Standard thread, not reverse thread. Did you guys already know that? That's all that holds it, not a whole lot, huh? Okay. Pop that guy off. What do you guys think is behind there? What's the magic inside of a centrifugal clutch? Other than it does something centrifugal. Pop it off. There you go. All you got basically are shoes and springs. So the tighter those springs are, the more resistant it is, these shoes are to flying out and engaging with the inside of that clutch housing inside there, which then once it's engaged, it turns a chain. So not all that complex really. These look good. You see a lot of wear on them. They don't need to be cleaned. Sorry, I shouldn't say they don't need to be cleaned. They do need to be cleaned. They cannot be greasy. So if they're greasy, you gotta take some, what I do is I just take some brake clean and just like any clutch, like on a snowmobile clutch, if I don't want the belt to slip, which I do not want the belt to slip, I want to grab hard, you clean the engaging surface. So in this case we'll just spray a little bit of brake clean on there and clean that greasy surface off in case I happen to get some grease on there. Turn the motor, there we go. Hands are pretty greasy too. You can also just kind of rough it up a little bit if you wanted to with some Scotch-Brite, if you wanted to, but realistically it's just making a friction fit. So if you want this motor to engage at a lower RPM, you'd put lighter springs in and then they would fling open faster and engage. If you wanted to engage at a higher RPM, you'd put stiffer springs in. Not a lot of rocket science there, huh? Not that I've built any rocket ships lately. I'm just going to clean this up inside here. So I got a bit of rust. Not that that probably wouldn't help it grab anyway, but I'll clean it up, put it back together, and bearings already changed, the shaft back together, and we are almost done for the day. All right, guys, all done. Even have a visitor over here. Herman stopped by to have a beer. Proper social distancing in effect.
Yeah.
And all the new bearings. The one shaft took a little longer than I thought it was going to be. The shaft had a bit of a burr on the end of it, so it took a while to pull that out. All the bearings are done. So next is weld the shroud, or weld the blower intake. See if we can address what's going on here. And then onto the motor. And then that's it. And then we'll have a working snowboard. Anyway, thanks a lot for hanging out. And we'll see you again. Have a good night, guys.